I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna sit back and relax and enjoy this nice peaceful garden with some birds tweeting about and... Oh, Jesus, well, I'm kidding. We've still got a whole ways to go, so even then though, this is no time for resting. So either way though, hey, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it is I, the one and only Merxy here once again, and I am back for yet again for the likes of the Merxy Toys videos here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario 3D All-Stars while we're still playing through Super Luigi Galaxy for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time we have basically managed able to still collecting some more Power Stars for the sake of the forms of the majority of the Golden Dome, and as a result, we're basically almost done with this entire dome. Well, at least until when it gets to the point until likely later on throughout the entire Let's Play itself. So either way though, everything else will be pretty much expected at this point, especially noticeable about the fact that we've already taken down Fury Dino Piranha for the final time for the sake of the forms of this entire compilation. So yeah, everything else will be expected. So, and today for this video is the fact that we're about to able to actually get started with the forms of the next mission in the game, which is of course the final Daredevil run, which is obviously going to be taking place in well, Melty Martin Galaxy as far as I'm concerned, and every once in a while after we're done with this particular mission, then we can basically move on to the final Hungry Luma stage. That's what appears to be of course Snowcap Galaxy, and on top of all that stuff though, we can probably expect that we can definitely hit onto the forms of the center of the universe for the third time for the entire compilation. So as a result, we can pretty much guarantee we can able to kick Bowser's butt again as Luigi, except the fact that hopefully we can rescue Princess Peach for good. Well, let's just say, don't get your hopes up for this point, just because we got able to still do it twice, by the way, just like the forms of how it does it on the Mario's playthrough, in addition to the original Wii version of the game as well. So yeah, that pretty much seems unchanged and stuff like that. So anyways, let's get this thing to it, and of course we still need to be very careful about this, especially noticeable because, you know, we only got one health to do this, and on top of all that stuff though, what makes this playthrough, specifically Luigi's playthrough, a little bit tricky and difficult in comparison to the forms of in Mario's playthrough is that it seems very obvious about the fact that Luigi's slippery attraction will come into play after every once in a while, and exponentially speaking, I think that's as far as I can try to say about this for the sake of time. So anyway, so it looks like that we've almost pretty much done with this particular stage, but again, if I somehow screwed up once, if I somehow get hit by the lava or any enemies for this matter though, then I'm gonna have to able to redo this entire stage again, or this entire mission. So at least thankfully we still got loads of lives to our disposal, so that way it won't be so much of an issue. So at the very least though, we're probably not gonna get game over for the majority of the time, which I guess is a good thing, especially noticeable because, well, relatively speaking, we're actually doing pretty dang well for the sake of the forms of no death runs. Well, we still come across into quite a few deaths here and there, but no one near as like as much. So either way though, yeah, let's just get this thing to it with this final segment of this mission. So we got to be very fast, just like always. So yeah, we can pretty much expect how this is going. So, and of course that we still need able to, like, I think we're basically done collecting some of those star bits for now on though, for the majority of the game now, because obviously we've still got enough, so that way we can able to actually feed the Hungry Luma for the final time, and exponentially, after we able to go for the extra amount of challenges that, if you probably already know, is similar to the forms of how it does it on the Mario's playthrough, that is pretty much obvious about the fact that we can pretty much guarantee that we will definitely gonna have to tackle through the Purple Comet missions, just like in the Mario's playthrough. So anyway, so let's go ahead and obtain the Power Star, and we are basically done with every single of those, well, prankster comments from the likes of the past few videos ago, or past few levels ago, aside from the forms of the Purple Comet missions that we can probably, you know, like I said, we'll get to those after we're done with the forms of the center of the universe. So there we go, folks. Melty Martin Daredevil mission is done. Not again. I hate that number. I really hate that number so much. With all that, 2020 is the worst year we've ever experienced. Okay, sorry for this quick error right there, because there we go. Huh. That's much better, because I just seriously cannot stand that number, because you probably already guys should already know if you're following through our channel for such a long time. So, anyways, let's go and feed 1600 star bits for the Hungry Lumber, so even then though, we can able to actually access to the Snowcap Galaxy. So, we should probably be able to expect how this is going to turn out to be, so there we go. And fundamentally speaking, we don't need to worry about the forms of trying to utilize the Prankster Comet Lumber, or the Hungry Lumber Prankster Comet variation, because, well, relatively speaking though, it's just the fact that we all settled by then, so... And fundamentally speaking, this will be the last time we're going to be able to start catching those star bunnies, so because of this though, we're actually getting very close towards the end, so... Anyway, so if you probably did not know already, this is my second attempt for this recording session. Nothing to do with the game frame rate or anything, or the gameplay footage, because it runs very well. However, for commentary wise, it feels a bit very awkward on my first attempt. Mind you, it's a good thing I didn't usually do the first attempt and put it up to YouTube or anything, because that way it'll make things 10 times as awkward, and hopefully for the second attempt for this particular commentary itself, I'm really hoping that it'll make things a little bit more better than the first attempt. Although, every once in a while, there might be a little bit of a lag going on around here on my preview capture recording, so it's a bit of a nauseating process, especially noticeable that it's a perfect example of why that the entire process of these uploading schedules in terms of Super Mario 3D All-Stars as a whole, that it just makes things, the entire process, a little bit lengthy and stuff like that. So, but regardless of everything else though, I have no issues for this point right here, because, you know, I obviously do enjoy those 3D Mario games again, but this time on the actual Nintendo Switch system, So, yeah, you get the idea about that. So, anyway, a few things we want to explain for this point today, and that is the fact that, today's date is, of course, the 21st of October today, in this case in 2022 today, and, we've only got about 10 more days to go until, Halloween is about to be begun. So, as a result of that kind of stuff, though, and it's also short things to worth noting for, that, exponentially speaking, is the fact that also in 10 years' time, or actually, no wait, kind of think about it, 10 days' time from now on, Luigi's Mansion 3 will be expecting to become 3 years old during that time as well. So either way though, we can probably mention more details onto that though, if we somehow manage to able to get into the final selections of videos for the sake of the forms of this entire game, so... Anyways, let's go and obtain the next power star, which actually leads us to 104 at this point right now. So, yeah, we can pretty much expect how this is going. And exponentially, we can able to actually just to talk to Rosalina right now. And able to actually ask her, we can finally get into the center of the universe. And we can probably rescue Princess Peach, but this time, Luigi's time to shine. So, makes pretty much obvious sense, because obviously we have to go for the entire level again. But, you know, with a different playable character and stuff like that. So, let's go and rescue Princess Peach again.
Go, Luigi!
So yeah, Rosalina says a different name for the likes of Luigi instead of Mario, so it makes sense because, you know, we're still playing as Luigi. So, Anyways, let's head on to Bowser's Galaxy Reactor for the third time in this Let's Play for the sake of Super Mario 3D All-Stars in the Fate of the Universe. So, and as usual, we still need able to go for the exactly same obstacles as before, except the fact that the only thing we need to worry about is, of course, Luigi's slippery traction. So, yeah, I guess that makes it pretty obvious, right? So, anyway, while this is going on, I suppose I should probably mention about this, actually, is the fact that, as I mentioned this before, today's date is, of course, the 21st of October today, in this case in 2022 today. Let's talk about the forms of the other things I would like to mention. I believe Proto Man has already mentioned about this, ever since and during the course of well, Metroid 2 Return of Samus. Basically, ever since in yesterday, not only does Mario Plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope for the Nintendo Switch has recently came out recently, and so far, if I've continued playing the game, I had a lot of fun with it, especially notable because obviously I really love the actual space kind of vibes to it. Like it kind of reminds me like a Mario Galaxy vibe to it, except the fact that we are going to be able to do like a tactical RPG kind of stuff, so I guess that makes it pretty obvious there. And but also I really love the actual the set pieces they obviously going in this time around, rather than just like a standard traditional themes like, you know, grass, desert, ice, snow, and spooky, as well as the Bowser lava themed levels over and over again. But at the very least, it does have some different variety for a change. So in this case though, well, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed the first game still, but I'm still stuck on one of those fewer battles, specifically something to do with my lack of strategy, and also say applies to the faults of the fact that maybe my skill tree wasn't exactly all that improvement. But at the very least though, is the fact that for when it comes to the forms of Mario Plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, at the very least they now have a leveling system, so because of this though, so yeah, that's actually pretty swell I have to say. Especially noticeable, I really enjoyed the game so far. So yeah, that's pretty much as far as I can think about it. And also yesterday is the fact that for those of you who lived in the UK, and for those of you of the bronies out there who ever actually listens to this particular conversation, well, happy 5th anniversary of the release of My Little Pony the Movie 2017 in the UK big screen release. So yeah, I can't even believe time flies, doesn't it? Especially noticeable because I still really enjoyed the film still, after all, for all the brony communities out there, especially noticeable. I definitely noted about the fact that a lot of bronies seem to think that Friendship is Magic era is actually a lot better than the forms of how it does it on the past generations, in addition to the forms of the most recent G5. Although don't get me wrong, I find G5 okay, but it's nowhere near as the best though in my opinion, because, well, I think I should probably save that conversation until whenever we get to the point until the next few videos up ahead, because it seems very obvious about the fact that with my actual ranting, for the sake of the forms of the entire G5 series as a result, well, I'm not a big fan of ranting stuff, I must be honest here, but regardless of such though, I think that's as far as I can try to discuss upon things, so anyway, so we've basically meet up with Bowser again, and accept the fact that we're about to take him on with the biggest and epic final battles in the entire Mario game series. So yeah, it makes it pretty much standard fare, so don't worry, Princess Peach, we will be back for you, we'll promise. So anyway, oh, I suppose I should probably mention about this as well, I guess, is the fact that in regards to the forms of the actual video uploading schedules during that time, I think, suffice to say, we can probably expect that we can definitely able to actually finish up the entirety of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Well, spoiler alert for those of you who want to know when that's going to be finished, it was expected to be finished at some point by the end of this month, so either way though, because it was originally going to be able to be, I would say, trying to finish up the entire Super Mario 3D All-Stars game during the course of the forms of, well, let's just say, as far as I can recall from the likes of in November, but we have decided able to go for exactly the same format as the forms of how it does in the original Super Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo. That basically though is the fact that we can pretty much guarantee that we'll basically manage to able to just, well, it's hard to explain because it's been about 2 days ago since I actually last played this, so Oh yeah, I should probably mention about the final thing about the forms of today's discussion, while the forms of how in fact that we're just gonna have to focus on the forms of the final battle quickly, with the intense music is still going on. Recently, happy 20th anniversary of the release of Mario Party 4 for the Nintendo GameCube. Well, the only thing I'm referring to is, of course, the Americans release. So because of that, though, yeah, I can't believe Mario Party 4 has recently came out 2 decades ago, which is by default have been the first ever Mario Party game to be released on the Nintendo GameCube system. So, yeah, time flies, huh? Especially noticeable. I still find Mario Party 4 to be a really, really dang great game. But despite the boards are a bit flatter in comparison, but regardless of such though, the mini-games are timeless, especially noticeable after so many years later that it still holds up even to this day. Especially noticeable with how amazing some of those mini-games are in Mario Party 4, and I'm very glad that some of those mini-games have been brought back from the likes of, you know, the top 100, as well as, you know, Superstars. So, well, for me personally speaking, I still find the Superstars version to be a lot more excellent, especially noticeable it does have a better, well, let's just say a better selection of mini-games they have from the Superstars version, because I don't know about with the top 100 though, aside from those few bombers out there for Hide and Go Boom, and you name the rest. But anyway, so let's just go ahead and get ourselves the 7th and the final Grand Star as Luigi, and also technically speaking, this will be the 14th Grand Star to obtain, and the 7th, well, I've already said the 7th anyway, so forgive me if I somehow managed to get my tongue twisted in the end, folks, so I do apologize for that. So yeah, we've got ourselves the 14th and the final Grand Star in the entire Super Mario 3D All-Stars compilation. So let's enjoy the ending.
Welcome. Welcome, new galaxies.
So yeah, the Mushroom Kingdom has been fully restored and the Star Festival will be able to run itself again, but this time, you know, with all these NPCs and as well as the forms of certain enemies and even occasional boss characters usually shows up. So again, it's basically the same ending as the forms of in the Mario's version, except, yeah, you know, Luigi's time to shine, you know? And of course, the actual credit sequence is actually based off on the first credit sequence, so it's nothing different from there, because you will still see Mario on the specific screenshots and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's basically as far as I can usually try to describe it. So, again, there's not much else I can honestly try to say, although I was expecting to try to mention something more related to, other stuff worth mentioning, but aside from all that stuff though, I think that's as far as I can try to say about it, because, you know, it's been about, you know, 2 decades ago since when Mario Party 4 first came out on the GameCube. In fact, let me know in the comments down below for the question of the day. Not just by the forms of in, what was your, did you have, most nostalgic memories for the sake of playing Mario Party 4 for the Nintendo GameCube? Because I certainly, had a lot of enjoyable out of from the likes of back in the day. And on top of all that stuff though, what you guys think about the forms of Mario Plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope so far for the Nintendo Switch? Because, you know, I really enjoyed it, especially notable after all that in my own spare time, that not only do I usually play that game on my own spare time, but also we are still playing Super Mario Galaxy, or technically speaking, Super Luigi Galaxy, which are both entirely related to Galaxy themed games, which is awesome. So, yeah, I guess that's super, it's efficient right here. So, but I digress. And, also, I would like to able to point things out is the fact that, this is by far the shortest video we've ever done, for the sake of the forms of Super Luigi Galaxy playthrough, alongside with Super Mario Galaxy playthrough as well, from the 3D All-Stars version. Well, the only reason being for this is because, as I said before, hopefully we'll try to able to aim for the goal for able to actually finish up this entirety of Super Mario 3D All-Stars game itself, during the course of by the end of this month, which is October, before we move on to the next month, which is, of course, November, which means more Let's Plays to come. And exponentially speaking though, it's just the fact that, well, seriously, I just can't even believe we actually almost gone close to the forms of, but almost towards the very end of 2022 so far. Well, mind you, we still got a couple of days to go, but regardless of everything else though, I think that's as far as I can usually try to describe about the forms of today's discussion, so... But I digress. But at least I still managed able to love the orchestrated music going on here on this credit sequence, which is always brings a smile to my face, especially noticeable because if I felt a little bit too down lately, then obviously that this is the music I always attempt to listen and just, well, listening to that particular music itself is always epic in almost every way. Well, pretty much perfect in every way, I should say. So either way though. Although I will get to the final thoughts of the Super Mario 3D All-Stars version of Super Mario Galaxy game itself until, or let's just say towards the very end of the Luigi's playthrough or something. Well, mind you, because we're still not exactly done, so... And one thing I should probably also mention about this is the fact that the credits text sequence, whenever they scroll up, on the Switch version it goes a lot faster, whilst the forms of the original Wii version it's all like slows down and matches the forms of in sync with all these Mario screenshots and stuff. I've no idea why the Switch version managed able to speed things up a little bit, so...
Thank you for playing my game.
I certainly appreciate it, Luigi, so join me next time for more of Let's Play of Super Luigi Galaxy is the fact that we'll hit on to the Purple Comet mission, so I'll see you guys until on Monday. Later, fellas.